Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast, the weekly podcast about video games with news, reviews, analysis, and opinion. Keeping you up to date on how to wisely spend your money for video games, movies, RPGs, comics, books, and more for over 16 years. Find us online at Gamersledge.com. And now, your hosts.
Hello, greetings and salutations. Welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. Come on in, sit down, have yourself a New Year's Eve hors d'oeuvre platter filled with vegetables and dip and mock liver pate and gyoza, which are also known as pot stickers, and
shrimp,
and
summer sausage,
and cheeses, and
flaky little crackers.
That's right. It's Gamersledge Podcast, a podcast about about video games and what it means to be a hardcore gamer. It'll look at the video gaming industry. This is our last podcast of 2014. This is kind of a side-by-side editor-in-chief / I don't know if you're on the left or right side, so this is...
I don't either. That's why I was like leaning over.
Editor-in-chief / community manager, just email kind of thoughts on 2014. Warning, this will have spoilers of all kinds in it. Everything ranging from movies to video games. We're just putting the blanket spoiler statement out now. If you don't want stuff spoiled, whatever it may be, then don't watch
this.
That's your one and only warning. And so, yeah. Yeah. We've got tons of emails. I opened up the email floodgate on a couple different channels, and we got a ton of emails that said, hey, we're doing a mostly all email podcast. What questions do you have? So I've got those, and we'll tackle those here after a little bit. But first, 2014 is on its way out, and I thought we'd talk about our personal highlights of the year, whether it be movies, TVs, video games, whatever it may be. I know, Matt, one of the highlights for you for this year has been Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. No, TV-wise, we live in an interesting time with TV. Seriously, my DVR is never less than 70% consumed with video recordings. It's wild, and I don't even have HBO, so I'm missing out on some of that stuff on real time at least. But yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I get it. I mean, I understand the people who didn't like the beginning of season 1. I get it. I understand. And I guess it was just my persistence. I saw a long game. I trusted the creative team, and this season it is paid off. Now, there are going to be people who don't like the show, just like there are people who don't like all kinds of shows. I don't like Seinfeld, for example. Everyone can hate me now because I don't like Seinfeld, but I don't like Seinfeld. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah, everything has come together. They didn't do the whole let's reset and explain everything all over to everybody again. They just jumped right in and kept going. And for me, you can't ask for a more entertaining, engaging show. I mean, that's...
Melted
what is that?
brie, baked brie, and pretzel bread.
Pretzel bread, that's what it was. I was like, that is the world's smallest and lightest colored ham I've ever seen.
Pretzel bread is hot pretzel bread. Hot, breaking news. Hot off the oven. I'm sorry. Please go continue with it.
I think I was done. You've been keeping up with it, right?
Yeah. So let me first say,
I forgot we were breaking spoilers, so I actually didn't say a whole ton of stuff because I forgot.
I'm going to spoil it right now.
Oh, okay.
First of all, when they introduced Mac, it was bugging me because I felt like I should know who he was, and I went back and I looked, and it turns out that they went way back. It's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 1 through 6. He's an actual S.H.I.E.L.D. character.
Right.
And he rose up through the ranks pretty high, but I mean, never anything super impressive. now that he's been possessed, I have and obviously survived a 100+ foot fall and is A-okay. I have a feeling that they are going to turn him into something superpowered. Who I don't know.
Well, since he was possessed by Kree technology, I mean, well, not Ms. Marvel, but
no. Well, anyway, so let's we'll come back to Mac in a second, but let's talk about Sky.
Trip. Let's talk about Trip.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that he was being brought back in as a full-time this year. I loved Trip. Trip was just
super rooting
for
Coulson to make it in there. But as soon as I saw Trip go in, I knew that was a one-way ticket.
No, yeah,
and
yeah.
They had to do it to give emotional impact to Sky's birth, if you will.
Yeah.
So... Now, I will be honest.
I love you, BJ.
I should have put 2 and 2 together, but Quake is like one of the most obscure characters I could have ever picked.
Except for like the 5 issues where she was running S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, well, that and the fact that I never put 2 and 2 together that her dad was Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde, yeah.
I never saw him Hulk out. So if we'd seen him Hulk out, then I would have been like, oh, it's Mr. Hyde. But we only saw one side of him in that process. Yeah. So we have that to look forward to.
Yes. Well, and again, will he undergo the drastic transformation that the Jekyll Hyde character of the Marvel comic universe does, or will he basically just be whatever he is? I mean, we don't really know. I mean, at times he almost seems superhuman, then at other times he doesn't. So, or has he not yet undergone his transformation? Because he apparently is not.
No, he has.
I'm going to say the word.
No, I think he
inhuman.
Has. I think
you think he has?
I think he has, most definitely. The choice of people showing the reaction of them there being a new Inhuman was interesting. Nobody I recognized off the top of my head except that guy with no eyes. I feel like I should know who he is, but I'll look.
Well, in the comics, there's the character that he resembles is called that's been in the comics recently is called the Reader. I'm not familiar with the Reader, so I don't know if he's been introduced previously or if that's a new character. But that kind of was the immediate assumption of the people who have been reading the current Inhumans comic.
They've been reading it. Yes. I'm very happy that this arc was to set up the Inhumans. I do have to wonder.
Long trip though. I mean, Inhumans isn't until 2018.
That's do we get the build up in this show to build anticipation to the movie? I'm trying to figure out.
I'm almost guessing Inhumans have to start included in Age of Ultron. I'm guessing there's going to be some aspect of it there.
Okay, so since we're spoiling things, I mean, we know for sure we're almost guaranteed an appearance by Black Panther because we know from the clip from the teaser trailer that Cap's shield is broken. The only source of vibranium on the planet in modern day is Wakanda. So it would make full sense that he
or the Savage Land.
No, but they're staying away from Marvel mutant properties. So introducing Wakanda to curry favor with the American government, giving Cap a new adamantium vibranium alloy shield. Because remember, the shield he has right now is the one from the 50s that is pure vibranium.
Right.
It is not the vibranium, the modern day shield of vibranium and adamantium. So now we have an introduction to Cap's new shield. We were in a discussion. Do I think Cap will die in Avengers 2? I think they'll hold off till Cap 3 and have Bucky assume the mantle at that point. But
although with the reception of Falcon. I mean, he was heavily received well from Winter Soldier, so.
But.
And for those of you who don't read comics, currently the Falcon has assumed the mantle of Captain America.
But I don't think they'll do that because they were hardcore teasing Bucky.
Oh yeah, they were very hard teasing that. So I can see it going either way. One to try to stay in line with the comics, the other to. Because that's where they plan to go.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting either way.
But yeah, I mean, the integration of Agents of Shield to a ongoing movie universe is unprecedented as far as I'm aware of. I've the closest thing would be the Ewok movies. And those didn't.
Let's never speak of this again.
Oh, come on. I love the Ewok
Maybe
movies,
I can
man.
cut these out in post-production. Entire section right here. Holy cow.
Come on, Ewok movies, man. But no, I just they did during the Phase 3 release. They kind of played coy about how Agents of Shield would play into the movie universe, and now we just introduced Inhumans, which is going to be a movie property in 2018. So obviously the tie-in is huge. I mean, I think for the most part, people loved the Winter Soldier tie-in that we're watching, at that time, the way it tied together. This is just an amazing show. It's got an amazing cast who have really come together. The addition of what's his name, Nick Blood as Lance Hunter, who is effectively actually Clint Barton, the comic book version of Clint Barton.
I was just talking about this yesterday with my nephew. He's like, I never made that connection. I'm like, yeah. And the only reason that we can come up with why it's not actually the Hawkeye actor is he probably wanted too much money.
Yeah,
he's
that's
a movie actor, not a TV actor, and he probably wanted too much money. That's the only thing I can think of. Because there's no reason not to showcase Hawkeye. I actually don't know why we haven't gotten Black Widow, other than the fact that Scarlett Johansson probably asked for $1 bajillion.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to keep at least some level of separation between the movies and the show originally, but at this point, it's like, why bother?
Yeah.
Other than, of course, cost. I mean, the show has got to be an astronomical production cost to start with, just with the effects and stuff. Although they do get the benefit of stealing the effects that are created for the movies and putting them in the show, so they don't have the engineering costs, so to speak.
I do have to wonder if we're going to see crossover between the Netflix series and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I would love to see Luke Cage incorporated somehow. It would be
incredibly weird for them not to, unless it's got something to do with the Netflix licensing. I can't see why they would. No, I'm just saying I don't know such things, but unless there's some kind of crazy, because I mean they're all coming together, right? They're going to come together as the Defenders. That's the cap of the whole Netflix thing is Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. They're going to do it. Do you think they're going to do it?
They've got to. When there's going to be somebody making the calls, almost like Dr.
Iron
No.
Fist.
No, like Dr. No in the James Bond movie. You're not going to see him. He's just going to be directing all the shots and
putting his white cat.
Yeah, exactly. Or his Asian butler. One of the two. Yeah. It's progressive. Whatever. Point is that I expect at the very end, when they finally call themselves the Defenders, who's going to come in and be coordinating them, but Doctor Strange as opposed to all the...
Right. Which then, as long as they can get Cumberbatch,
he's just got to make a guest appearance. And it's probably included in his signed contract. What would be better is if they also get Mark Ruffalo to make an appearance, because he was one of the original founding members of the Defenders.
Yeah, and that would be
pretty sweet. Because
that would be pretty sweet.
Hulk is not getting enough love. That's all I'm saying.
No, he is not. It's sad. It's sad.
And while I'm on the topic, yes, I'm eating on the podcast. It's New Year's Eve, and I have hot brie, so deal with it. I have a single directional mic that unless my face is right in it, you're not going to hear anything. So there you go.
I'm more offended by the fact that you whacked it and just about blew my eardrums out. But that's it.
I want to talk more about TV because I want to get that out of the way before we get to gaming.
Before we move away from Marvel, though, we've got
Guardians.
6 days. Well, Agent Carter,
Peggy Carter, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Agent
Carter. Agent Carter is the name of the show.
Is it just Agent Carter?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So we've got that coming forward. This really I think was kind of spawned out of that mini, or what do they call them? The whatchamajigga, the mini thing. Featurette, thank you. That was on, gosh, when was that? Was that on Winter Soldier or was that on Thor?
I think it was.
That one was
Thor,
on Winter
actually.
Soldier. Was that on Thor?
No.
Thor, yeah.
Yeah.
Because one had Agent Carter and the other one had the Hail to the King.
Hail to the King was on Thor 2.
Was on Thor 2. And then, okay, so then that means Agent Carter one was on Winter Soldier. No, it can't be right because I haven't. My copy of Winter Soldier is still sealed.
I don't know. It's not
Was
one
it
of them.
Avengers? It must have been Avengers then.
No, it wasn't on Avengers. I don't think. I think it was either on Iron Man 3.
Ooh, you're right. Iron Man 3. You're
I
right.
think it was Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 had Agent Carter and Thor had Hail to the King. You're right.
Right.
That was the other movie I was missing. Like, what are the movies I missed? But yeah, this should be interesting. It is a mini series, more or less. It's a short series. It's not a full regular series, but it will be filling the January, February, March time frame until mid-March when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back.
So, will we see Bam Bam? Bam Bam. Dear God.
Bam.
Dugan.
Dum Dum?
Dum Dum. Yeah, I do that every time because Bam Bam Bigelow and Dugan. They all start with. They all start with the
Similar
Stan Lee,
words.
with the Stan Lee naming mnemonic
Convention.
system.
Yes, yes.
So it's like, yeah, I do it every time. Dum Dum Dugan. Will we
Dum
see
Dum.
the rest of Cap's team? Do you think?
Well, we already saw Dum Dum in the flashbacks and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep.
So I would assume we'll see some of the Howling Commandos in there at some point. Dum Dum being an obvious choice. I don't think we know what the fate of Dum Dum Dugan was in current times. Presumably, there's no Infinity Serum, or do we? I'm talking in the cinematic universe, not the comic universe.
No, we don't know.
Well, and they just revealed in the comic universe he's actually been dead since Vietnam, and he's been LMD that Fury's been keeping around ever since.
So, all right. I got to sidetrack for 1 minute because that's what this is about. Patton Oswalt, life model decoys are actually brothers.
I'm gonna go with running joke. They're never gonna answer it. They're never gonna answer
Jesus
it.
H Christ! Because I'm serious. That is like every time I think they're gonna do it, they're like winking, nodding. It's great.
Oh my gosh,
I want to know.
That so well. Oh yeah, his system overheated, so he had to go cool down and recharge his batteries. I know what you're doing. Oh god, he plays that so well. Oh my gosh,
you can just tell he's having the time of his life on that show.
Oh Lord, he is. He is like one of us. If we got to be on that show, he's just. Oh, I'm the tall one. It's just. I'm going with clones. I think they're clones. Some sort of probably super soldier program that just went totally twins, and that he's just this clone guy that just keeps being replicated. Either that or he's multiple man, and we just don't know about it yet.
No.
Yeah, I mean the number of characters that they've gone through this season, just adding and subtracting, and who's lived, who's died, who's different. Oh, and huge call out to I'm gonna slaughter his name because I've never actually heard it pronounced, but Ian DeCasketer, I believe is how it's pronounced, plays Fitz. Holy crap. I mean, playing a guy who effectively has had a stroke and is yet still a genius at the same time, that is some brilliant acting he has done on that show, and holy tug at the heartstrings.
So let's just
anyway.
quickly to get off Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Favorite moment of the series of this not the series, not the whole season, but the series. Favorite moment so far.
Favorite moment of the series?
Mm-hmm.
Final episode of season 1. Hey guys, it's in here. Or I found it in here. Oh god, okay, you are moving. I thought you froze. Ward's psychotic mentor.
Oh, Garrett. Oh,
Garrett
God, yeah.
had crawled up onto the deathlock table and deathlocked himself and starts giving this villain monologue, and then And then Coulson says whatever that line is there. Hey guys, I found it in here or whatever. And
Speaking of what's happened to Deathlock,
we don't know. He disappeared. He went all rogue agent, gonna go fix the world and find myself. And I'm assuming he's gonna have to pop up at some point.
yeah, me too. Okay, well,
I thought he'd be muggled into the Defenders too. I mean, it's non-canonical, so to speak, but
yeah.
But yeah, he's got to come back in again at some point.
My favorite actually is just a fanboy markout session. It was Crusher Creel picking up a freaking ball.
Oh, the ball, yeah. No, that
was just too good all around because it was it was total fanboyism. It was subtle enough that if you weren't watching, it would have been just fine. But if you did know what you were looking for, that was I squeed and almost had to change my pants. It was so good.
Yeah, I think he picked up the ball. I think I cheered out loud. That and I may have to revise my moment. A lot of Coulson's little aside comments are like the golden moments of the show for me. But you've got the episode with May versus May. He's like, I can't believe I'm the only one here watching this.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good too. Yeah. But yeah, so Agent Shields put its nail in its coffin. Anything else you want to talk about from TV? There was lots of good stuff, but obviously we don't have time to go through all of it.
I'm interested to see if Ascension will get picked up. I watched the 3-night event of which is essentially the first 6 episodes of Ascension, sci-fi series, trying to recapture that Battlestar Galactica Glory Days stuff. Nowhere near BSG quality, I personally, but they've got an interesting premise, and I'd like to see where to go. I'd like to give it a full season and see where it'd go. Maybe end up being worthless, may be a good thing, but I wouldn't mind giving it a season. Obviously, The Flash has been an interesting ride. They're set up now really well. I think we can really kind of delve into it. Obviously, there's still the anticipation for Gorilla Grodd, because that's still been teased heavily, but not yet appeared. Arrow, holy cliffhanger, Batman.
You know what? Just 2 seconds on Arrow. So I started to watch it, and I don't like it. And I realized why I don't like it.
Because you don't like superhero shows about superheroes that don't have superpowers.
No, believe it or not, that's not it. It's because it'd been bothering me the whole time, and then that whole Flash crossover thing really solidified it for me, is that they've made Arrow into Batman. And I don't mean...
To a degree.
No, I don't mean his arsenal or gadgetry or any of that. His attitude. He is dark and brooding, and that is not Arrow in the comic books. In fact, Arrow is Batman's foil in the comic books, because Arrow is the stand up for the little guy, socialist kind of, we have to do good for everybody kind of thing, and he's always the happy one, and he's literally the foil for Batman on the team, who is always dark, brooding, we must do whatever it takes to get the job done. He's the one that says, hey, no, I don't think so. People have rights too. This is bad. That's Green Arrow, and that is not Arrow. Arrow is life is pain. I've been through a lot of shit, and I'm sorry, but I need to take whatever the most direct method is to get results, because that's life. And if you think otherwise, you're wrong. And I do not like it at all.
Well, and the thing is, and I don't know why they played that up so much in the crossover, because part of the progression of the show for Arrow has been he isn't Green Arrow at the beginning. He's the Hood. And that was a very specific naming. There was a very intentional reasoning for not calling him Green Arrow out the gate. And then the transition from Hood to Arrow, he's still not Green Arrow yet. He's still evolving and changing, and he's actually gotten a lot nicer. He's still more Batman than Green Arrow, but he's gotten a lot nicer, friendlier, taking the whole non-lethal approach to things. How far did you get?
Not far.
Okay. So, yeah, first season 1, he's I am the knight with arrows.
He's and that way in season 3 in the crossover.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. In the crossover, that's what kind of felt so grating to me was I don't know why he so drastically fell back personality-wise for the crossover, because he'd made a lot of progression, and then it's like for the crossover, they went back and grabbed season 1 Arrow and wrote that for the crossover, which didn't make sense to me. But yeah, no, I can say it's, I enjoy it, but then again, I'm not a diehard DC guy. So if they mess with Green Arrow a little bit, it doesn't matter to me. Now, will I be saying the same thing if they totally mess around with Daredevil when that comes out? I don't know, because I'm more familiar with that universe. But
so yeah, other highlights of TV, Gotham. I will be happy to eat my words. I actually really like the show. It's very dark, but very well written, and it does keep you waiting to see what's going to happen next. I find
myself. Well, go ahead.
It's still like everything about the show screams it's wrong to me. But what are you going to do?
I find myself watching it in spite of myself. I can't honestly say that I enjoy the show, but it's interesting enough to keep watching. Now that the Selena Bruce episode was brilliant. That was awesome. I loved the whole time where they were together for those episodes. Gordon, see, to me, Gordon doesn't. The show is supposed to be about Gordon, and to me, they haven't figured out what they want to do with him yet. It's like he's this way one second, he's that way the next second, and he's just. I mean, okay, he's trying to adapt to this environment that's totally foreign and alien to him. Okay, I guess, but to me, the characterization of Gordon is what's killing it for that show, because everyone else is fine for the most part. Even Alfred, even new Alfred, even like, go beat him up with your dad's Walsh's brass knuckles. Alfred, it isn't bothering me so much, but
he bothered me at first, but not so much anymore. I actually really like the dichotomy between Dent and Gordon.
Well, yeah, and then Dent is brilliant. What's his name? Dude playing Dent. Yeah. Can't think of his name. Whatever. He's doing a brilliant job. And to see the flashback where he basically used to be Gordon and now he's, the transformation that was
a brilliant episode in my opinion.
That was a brilliant episode, and I don't care what anyone says. The goat mask looks almost identical to Batman's cowl.
Yeah, exactly. I agree wholeheartedly, and they do that on purpose. And I get it. He's taking subconsciously all these things that the Balloon Man, same thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there was a lesson to be learned in there. All right, we gotta get off TV.
Yep.
Walking Dead also great, and Game of Thrones, of course.
Oh yeah,
super great.
I still gotta watch that.
Oh, so good. And then let's talk about movies. Go ahead and talk about your movie.
Oh gosh. Well, the only two movies I remember from this year right now are Guardians of the Galaxy and The Winter Soldier. Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel takes a look at DC, and DC says, well, it's really hard to write a script about, a woman who's wonderful and all these powers and stuff, and says, here's a talking tree and a freaking talking raccoon. Enjoy this. I mean, down to the marketing, the whole "You're Welcome" poster. You can't even hear me anymore. But the whole "You're Welcome" poster was just a brilliant move. I mean, it took some arrogance and some balls to make this movie. If anybody's read any of the stuff that's come out recently from magazine articles with James Gunn and Chris Pratt and some of the cast, this movie was a ridiculous risk. This was the movie that Hollywood would say should never have been made, much less be the highest grossing film of the year when it came out in August.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, this movie it does everything wrong by the Hollywood definition, but yet it does everything right from a moviegoer's perspective. I mean, the balance of act. By the way, yeah, I noticed. I thought I was going to say maybe it was Kool-Aid, but the balance between the action and the comedy and the drama and I mean, are there plot holes you could fly a small starship through? Yeah, there are some plot holes you could fly a small starship through, but that's a movie. I mean, there are rarely any type of movies with any type of plot that's complex at all that don't have things that are just don't make sense because characters have to do things to move the plot forward. I don't know. I just watched it again the other day with the kids. I guess we were all there, the whole family. And it just, I mean, I've not watched it nearly as many times as, say, Dave. I think Dave's watched that movie 80 times, 79 of them in the theater. So, I mean, I just missed some things in this last viewing. Like I had totally missed it before that that Corpseman Days family were the pink girl and the pink lady from the bridge that Rocket saved. I totally missed that up to this point. So there was that. But I mean, there's just so much stuff incorporated in that movie. I mean, there's a Chitauri in the collectors in one of the cage of the collectors. There's just all the little Rocket and Groot stuff and. There's not, we don't spend a lot of time getting to know these characters. We're really, for the most part, thrown in. I mean, we know a little bit about Quill, just essentially, okay, here's how he ended up in space. And here's where the tape came from. And we know a little bit about Rocket because he gets the longest self-explanation of who he is. The rest of the characters we just kind of learn as we go, but it works. It's fine. You don't need to know any more than you know. You know enough, and you go forward. Although I have to question Drax's claim that he has killed thousands of Ronin's agents. He generally ends up being kind of useless. But
it's not true. And he did well. Okay, I'm going.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on what Ronin's agents are. I mean, if they're just those little foot soldier guys that were all on the Dark Aster, then okay, yeah, maybe I guess. But still, Groot probably took out more in that one attack than Drax did the entire movie. And then turned around. Yeah, but yeah, that movie. And then Winter Soldier, I mean, you couldn't be a more opposite movie and yet be just as equally awesome.
Yep.
The day they announced Chris Evans was going to be Steve Rogers Captain America, I'm like, all right, that's it. Marvel has lost their ever-loving mind. It's done. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
I facepalmed.
I ate that hat over and over and over again. I ate it during the first movie, and then I ate it a couple times during Avengers, and then I just never stopped chewing during Winter Soldier because I couldn't have been more wrong. Chris, I know you're not watching, but man, I'm sorry I ever doubted you. But yeah, that whole movie, and the introduction of Falcon. I'm forgetting the actor's name right now.
Sam Wilson.
There you go. But the introduction of the Falcon, short of him, he can't actually talk to birds, but still, it was a great character. Again, very, very much how Trip was introduced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the same kind of reception type thing with bringing Falcon and Sam Wilson in. On the left. But the pacing and the time, I mean, just I don't know if it's the directors that they're picking. I don't know if it's the editing staff that they're using. I don't know I don't know what it is, but when they put together a movie, they seem to have just the right people to do just the right thing, which is, well, understandably, and I understand why people get nervous about this because this is the first time it's happened, but Ant-Man doing a major change-up midstream, is that going to produce a problem? Or was the director actually the problem? I know I get slammed by a select group of people I know for ever inferring that Edgar Wright may make a mistake or not do something correctly. But if he was really being Edgar Wright and wanting to do his own thing, which is over here in the way he wanted to do it and not playing ball with the larger MCU, I can see why they would have a disagreement and end up parting ways. Will that make the movie better or worse? We'll see when it comes out. Wow. Okay, what other movies came out in 2014?
Yeah, that's it.
Was Ender's Game out this year?
No,
was that last year?
Last year.
Was that this year?
I don't know. It was okay.
Godzilla, I didn't see.
Godzilla was good. It wasn't I mean, it was a love letter to Godzilla fans, but there were some people who were very upset with how much screen time Godzilla actually got. It was okay. Yeah, that's it. We don't have to spend any more time. Let's talk about the important things. First of all, what have you been playing for the last week?
Oh gosh, what have I been playing? Well, let's see. We played Tetris for a while, which I believe I handed your butt to you in.
The first
3 or 4 games.
No, the first
game,
and then I won the subsequent games after that.
You didn't win all the subsequent ones.
Yeah, you at most won 2, and I won, I think, 3 or 4.
I think it was closer to 50-50, but that's
Perhaps.
Okay. I'll let you live in the delusion.
That was a nice change.
Oh wow. Okay, I see how it's going to be. I killed lots of people, specifically the ones I was playing by playing the Game of Thrones Telltale game.
Which is much better than I was expecting it to be.
It is. I mean, they basically replicated House Stark with this house of I don't know. Forrester, yeah. I don't know if Forrester's in the book or is ever defined anywhere other than in this game. But they basically replicated House Stark, essentially, without all the implications of it being House Stark. And I assume the thing that happened at the end, which I'll kind of avoid spoiling.
Yeah, because I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, you haven't gotten there yet? Okay, well, I can't ask you then, so... hey, it's spoiler free. I should be able to spoil whatever I want, right?
You can. I'll just reach through the camera and murder you.
Well, everyone dies, but it's Game of Thrones, so you know that already.
I wasn't expecting anybody to live.
So, I'm assuming the thing that happened at the end game, episode 1, happens no matter what choice you pick, but I don't know. Maybe my story is going to be much different than other people's.
You did play Tales from the Borderlands.
Tales from the Borderlands, played that. So you get that's an interesting story. That's a good one. This is my first serious exposure to that universe. I played like 5 minutes of Borderlands or Borderlands 2. I don't remember which one, and it got sidetracked into something else and never went back to it. But yeah, it's a good story. It's interesting. That one, I always felt like whatever words I chose, I actually got the response out of the character I expected. Game of Thrones, less so. It's like there were no good choices in Game of Thrones. So even if you picked the response that you thought was going to work one way, the way they said it or did it made it go a different way than the way you wanted that response to be, which was a little frustrating, but again, it's Game of Thrones, so everything has to go wrong.
Yeah, that's actually, I noticed that as well. And I have to say, for Tales of the Borderland, surprisingly well interpretation of that universe. Best part about it is the bad guy is voiced by the Tick, and has both Nolan North and Troy Baker in it.
And Chris Hardwick.
So there's that too.
And yeah, the female names I didn't recognize off the bat, so I'm not sure who those are.
But good voice acting all around.
Oh yeah, great voice acting, great story. Actually, I mean, it's Borderlands. I wouldn't have expected there to be anything great as far as the story goes, but it actually had a really good story. Actually, in ways, it was better than the Game of Thrones one in a lot of ways. But you haven't finished the Game of Thrones one, so we can't really compare notes on that. Let's see.
You played a little Far Cry 4.
I did. Thanks to you and Gith, got the key to Kyrat. Did I say that right? Or whatever it is. That thing that allows you to play for 2 hours without having the game. Now, when they announced Far Cry 4, they way oversold that because it essentially sounded like share play. You could invite as many friends as you wanted, as many times as you wanted, and let them play with you without having to actually own the game. That is sorely not the case. It is, you get one key, which is good for 2 hours with whoever you want to play with, and then you got to buy the game. So, anyone out there that was looking to do that, it is the key itself, the 2 hour thing, it's a very strict limit. You'll keep getting little pop-ups in your corner of your screen saying, you only have 37 minutes left. But overall, the game itself was fun. Again, not in the story mode because you can't do story co-op. You can only do the open world missions. But just looking at the map,
story is this much. It just opens the map. That's all it does.
Right. And then the map is ridiculously huge. I mean, and you said this while we were playing. This is basically what Destiny promised.
Yeah.
We have this huge map, this huge open world. Are there some things that don't make a lot of sense? Yeah, there's some things that don't make a lot of sense. Like you were talking about, once you capture a village or once you liberate a village or whatever they call it, it'll immediately get attacked by the bad guys, and the bad guys will win, but you still own the village. So, there's some weird stuff like that kind of goes on in there. But the little helicopter, what are those things called? The little gyrocopter thing, whatever they're called. It's weird because it's like you can go anywhere you want, but then you'll randomly run into this wall and it'll like hit you. And
what you mean is a ceiling.
Well, a ceiling, or you'll see a place where you physically can go right over there because there's a platform where you can stand and do stuff, but you can't fly the little chopter thing over there without it.
Because its altimeter won't go that high. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Well, yeah. I guess I didn't catch that when we were playing. Yeah. A lot of drug references in this game. Holy cow! Not to mention your reaction when you stab yourself with that healing kit. But
that reaction is different from the main characters. Just FYI, you're playing the sidekick Hick.
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, bro, let's do this. Yeah, I'm from Sticks. And so his reactions are all like, wow, that's good stuff, or whatever. The main character is more like, oh God, thank God, I'm not gonna die. It's a little bit different.
Okay,
different, but
fair enough.
Contrast, it's funny.
Yeah. So it was good, but I mean, the shooting mechanic was fine. The gameplay was fine. Everything looked pretty. I mean, it looks gorgeous. I mean, there is mist you're in this like mountain valley thing, right? So you're surrounded by mountains and you're in this middle of the mountains kind of thing. So there's mist everywhere to, help obscure when they go to low res details for the textures and stuff, but it looks natural. It looks like the mist belongs there. It doesn't look like cover up, even though that's what it is. It looks like it's just mist out there in the mountains. The other thing, let's see, Peggle 2, which is Peggle, just 2-ear.
Yep.
I know there's something else I played, but I can't. Oh, I played Lego Batman 2. A little throwback there. My daughter wanted to play Lego Batman, so she threw in Lego Batman 2, and we played for several hours, for somewhere between 4 and 6 hours of Lego Batman 2, which was pretty fun. Much better than Lego Batman 1. I can't think of anything else that I've been trying to finish the Titan map on Attack on Titan, or not Attack on Titan, Titan Attacks, Titan Attacks. Attack on Titan, something completely different, which they're doing a lot of action for, which, Japan, why? But anyway, and they're doing a Marvel Comics crossover with Attack on Titan. Again, why? But anyway, I'll probably buy it because I'm stupid. Titan Attacks, that last boss, I cannot clear that last boss. I don't know what it is, but I cannot come up with a combination of power-ups that allow me to take it out without getting basted by the attacks that thing throws out. So there's that.
Let's see. I played all of the things that you've listed so far, including Titan Attacks. I have also played Little Big Planet 3, which, quick FYI, if you're going to share play with someone else and then try and do multiplayer to get 4 people total playing, can't do that. If you do share play, it counts as a local person who can't sign into the PSN, and ergo, vis-a-vis concordantly, you can't access any of the online features. So, something to note. However, your share play person can watch you while you play online with friends, if you're into that kind of thing. Also played a lot more Infinity with Matt, actually.
Oh, yeah, we played that too, yeah.
About that, yeah.
Totally forgot about that one. I played so much games over the last week. It's like, I have a hard time remembering because I don't normally get that much in. I know, it's crazy. I even been playing Hoojima Jingaba Whatchama Thingamit.
A Terror Battle?
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. How did you know? Because I was pointing at my phone. That's how you knew.
Yep. I actually
Still only in the second set of maps, but
so, here's the thing, right? I have spent money in Terra Battle one time. I bought $20 worth of energy. The way they do their system is pretty smart. You have stamina, which looks like a battery, and you get X number based on where you're at in the story. So I have like 50 stamina, and I can play. And each match that I play costs me like 13 stamina. So I can basically get 4 matches out of my stamina bar. To recharge the stamina bar is 1 energy. Okay, you start the game with I think 5, and anytime you need to continue because you failed a mission, it costs 1 energy. Or you run out of stamina and it costs 1 energy to completely refill your stamina bar. Well, a while back I hit my threshold.
Stamina does also recharge over time.
Yeah, stamina does recharge over time. Energy does not. And to recruit characters is 5 energy to give a random roll at a new character. Could be good, bad, or otherwise. And so I'm like, oh, well, you know what? They're doing all these different arena battles this week. It's got Bahamut, Odin, Leviathan, and then it's got some other special ones that you need special tickets for, that the only way to get them is by the admins giving them to you. And by the way, Matt, you'll be happy to know that I accidentally logged in too late, and I broke my 64-day streak of logging in, and I am back to day 2 now. Yeah, congratulations.
I think I'm at 7 again.
Yeah, so anyways, so the thing about it was I'm like, okay, I have Bahamut on my team. He's almost level 50. I'm going to go in and try this level 45 battle for Bahamut that gives me the thing that gives him his second job. And so I did it, and it took all of my energies, because literally I had to continue, Bahamut would do this 3-column fire thing that would destroy everyone on screen, and it'd be an instant game over. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. And so literally I went through all of my energy. I had 13. I went through all of them. I'm down to two energy left. And so I'm like, one time in the past I have bought energy, and it was $20 for 25 energy. That's not horrible, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
Do you have it open on your phone right now?
I don't at the moment. I can in just a second.
Yeah, open it and then go to the store page. Because I'm like, you know what? I of course did not get the Bahamut upgrade part that I wanted, because normally you have to do it multiple times before you get it. And so I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So I actually was considering buying the 25 energy for $20, and I went to go do so, and do you have it open?
No, it's still loading.
Okay, tell me when it's done loading, because I want you to read this to me firsthand. I want to see if they're the same, because I bet they're not. Because if I go to the shop and I say energy shop, go ahead now.
I'm trying to get rid of my what's new thing.
See,
takes forever to load. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, day 8. I mean, it's a day 8.
Congratulations. I'm actually
3 energy.
Nice. That's good when you see how much the energy is worth in the game now. Go to the shop. Go to the energy shop.
I opened my message so I wouldn't forget. Hold on. Energy shop. Register your date of birth.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I've never been in here before. Let's see. I don't know. What month was I born? I think that one.
Old McOld.
Yeah, I could just put 1901 for the year, right?
So I remember last time I bought it, 25 energy for $20. How much would 25 energy cost me now?
I don't have a 25 energy.
Yeah, I know, but go to the next one, which is 30.
30, yeah, $20.
Yours says $20?
Mine says $20.
Do you know what mine says?
No.
$158.
I can get 100 energy for just 60. I can't read that.
Can't read it.
Whoa, geez, holy cow. Wow, yeah. What? So does it go up every time you buy?
That's the only thing I can come up with.
That is brutal. Oh my gosh! Wow.
Because if I would have known
one energy
that
for 99 cents and just see what happens.
yeah, I mean, if I would have known that, because one energy for me is $8 friggin'.
Wow. I hope that's an iOS thing, because then they can laugh at you.
No, I don't know what 100 energy. How much does that cost for you?
$60.
$60. $448 for me.
Boosta bumbo.
And I don't know what this is. I haven't gone on to like any forums or anything to look it up. But man, I about had. I'm like, oh, I'll go buy 25 for $20, and then I was like, holy fuck! You know, seriously. I about dropped the phone. I couldn't believe it. That's Jesus.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's so it must be when you buy it goes up. That's brutal.
It's diabolical. Because
that's like the first horrible thing I've seen them do to this game.
I know. I'm like, holy crap. I was like, maybe they just timed it based around the fact that they're doing all these things that require energy and continues. And then that's why I wanted you to go in there and verify, because that's brutal. That's just flat out brutal. All right, Matt. We know the best game of the year site voted on was Dragon Age Origin or Dragon Age Inquisition.
Inquisition, yeah. Which I still have yet to play more than a couple hours.
I know you're made of fail sauce.
So often is true.
Your personal game of the year?
Personally, I'm going to stick with Transistor.
Good choice.
That was a beautiful game round and round. I like the combat system. Remind me equal parts of like Mega Man and Parasite Eve. The whole concept, the quirkiness of it, they give you just enough to go and you just go with it. There's a ton of questions that weren't answered about that game, but it wasn't about answering questions. And the end of the game, you haven't got to the end.
No.
Oh God, the end of that game. Holy crap.
I'm gonna say overall my game of the year still stands as Dragon Age Inquisition, but I gotta say the amount of fun I've been having with Far Cry 4 is, and I just put Grand Theft Auto in the online in tonight and started playing that again, and that's really, really good. The update is pretty awesome.
And Destiny has to still be in your top list because you still pump hours into that.
No, it doesn't. It's in my most disappointing game of the year list.
It's still got to be one of your capital time-consumptive games, though.
Look, the funny part is Gith was the primary champion of that, and I said this before on the podcast. Now it's like, guys, dude, he's literally like, guys, do we got to do this? I don't see a reason to do this if we can't get 6 people together. Then I can solo it on my own. No reason to do this. I'm gonna go back to killing things in Far Cry 4, and I'm right there with him. I mean, like, I'm there to pick up my shards by running the raid. But literally last night, I soloed the first 3/4 of the raid by myself. And
that would be the definition of soloed.
The only reason that I even got on was to do the second part with everybody else, to go through the motions of doing the raid. And what did we do? The same things we did if we'd have been soloing it ourselves. I don't know. I'm going to hit 32 and then I'm going to be like...
So you're not going to put in the time to get the platinum? The amount of time you put in, you should have a freaking platinum by now.
No, you know what one of those trophies is? That you have to have everybody complete a raid without dying. A raid without dying.
Wow. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess if you got good enough soloing it that you could do it by yourself without dying, that's probably about the only way that would happen.
You can't solo the whole raid. No. Anyways, that's on my most I look at Far Cry 4, and it is what Destiny promised us.
Yeah.
And that just makes me mad while I'm playing Far Cry 4, believe it or not.
I could be doing this in a sci-fi motif right now.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I mean, like, think about how cool some of those world missions could be and we get none of it. I mean, there's no assassination missions, there's no nothing. It's always just defeat X number of waves of things and a big boss at the end. Defeat X number of waves of things. And, oh, look, I fucked up opening this door again because I'm a useless ghost. Oh, look, why don't you fight 3 more waves of things? Oh, and then I opened it. It's like... Mark my words, predictions for 2015, either in either in May or June at E3, we will get the announcement of Destiny 2 coming in fall of 2015 by Activision and Bungie. This will be an annualized franchise. I do not see a way around it, and this game is so broken they can't fix it. The March update will do nothing more than the same thing this one did, which is place a Band-Aid and give you more of the fucking same things to do. And
resplendent energy.
So yeah.
Well, you notice how many hours I've logged recently.
Yeah,
so
Destiny is my least. It is my least favorite game and biggest disappointment of 2014.
Wow.
And my significant other yells at me, "Why do you keep playing that if you hate it?" You like to ask me the same question. All my friends do, and the only reason I play it is because of the people that I play with, and because I feel like it's my job as a community leader to help them do their stuff, and it's cool and it's fun. I have fun doing it. The mechanic is fun.
That's the thing. I mean, as many things
the
are.
Game is not.
Right, yeah. I mean, as many things as are broken with it, there is still at a core a good game there. I mean, a good game mechanic, a good shooter, right?
Yeah,
and it's fun. I mean, I had fun playing with you guys, but yeah, I mean, I'm we all know. I mean, I take a lot of crap, but I'm not good at team shooter stuff. I'm just not. It's, but it is the one thing that I do when I'm not getting incredibly freaking pissed off at my own inaptitude. It is one of the few multiplayer things I do enjoy doing.
See, I really think that the only reason that I have stuck with it and Gith has stuck with it, and the other people that are in my group is because we're all MMO players, and MMO players are a select breed of people who think of video games as a second job. It is work, and it is not fun. But you do it so that you can get the rewards, so that you can have the status and the prestige, and be able to kill the things that most people can't. It is work instead of play. And that's what Destiny is to me. I get no joy out of it, per se, other than the shooting mechanic. But that's not, enough to sustain me. Literally, if those guys were not in the game, I would have put Destiny down a long, long time ago. So that's why I go back. And will I go back through March? Yes. Do I think I'm going to be happy with the update? Hell no. Am I happy I spent the money on the updates to begin with? Hell no.
Well, the March date's already in the box. I mean, the March code is already in the box. I mean, aside from some bug fixes, there's no new planets, there's no new anything. It's all there already.
Last night was raid night. We were having this discussion last night. They did not fix anything in the raid. They had the opportunity to fix stuff this week and roll out a patch. Nothing. Nada. Zip. So every exploit, every cheese, everything we could do is still in there. Bugs. They haven't fixed a single bug that I know of. All they've done in the game is actually literally stop people from cheesing certain parts of the original raid. So, we were joking that they probably hired some fan to do QA for them, and the guy's like, "Bungie QA, dream job of a lifetime." And then he moved to Redmond and he went to work day one, and he looked around and realized he was the only fucking QA person that there is. And realize that it is not a dream job anymore. That is pure hyperbole and speculation on my part, but that's what I think happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say normally something the scope of an MMO is almost impossible to QA. I mean, it is almost, but this is not the scope of a normal MMO. This dungeon.
This isn't even like a third of the content of Far Cry 4.
Right, and I mean,
Far Cry 4 doesn't have hardly any bugs in it.
Right, and I don't know. I don't have any defense for it. I think your statement is probably hyperbolic in nature.
Yeah, I know it is, but
that's how
I feel as a player.
But there is definitely a failure somewhere in the system, right? Somewhere in the chain of things, there was a serious failure. My guess is, again, this is just a guess, based on everything we know, there was a serious turning point where things changed. And based on things changing, there were some core mechanics and core stuff that just could not be corrected in the that couldn't get corrected in time. And there's just some core mechanics that are just broke because 90 degrees go that way.
Yeah, I agree. But
I mean, based on my experience in running projects, that's usually what happens.
All right, let's get to some emails. We
oh gosh, what so what was your personal? Did you stick with Dragon Age? Was that your personal?
Yeah, Dragon Age. Yeah. So we put out the call for emails. We got a bajillion emails. So,
emails assemble.
I have not looked at these to pick them up.
Sorry, but to go back, it's still on the third or fourth viewing, whatever it was. Glenn Close says, interlock and form. I want her to say Voltron.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Sorry.
All right, so the first question comes from Tokul. Tokul asks, do you feel that party chat has taken away from multiplayer? Games seem to be adapting around the idea that you won't speak to your team. The Halo 5 beta, for example, has AI teammates call out things so much that it's hard to speak to your actual team. Do you think that party chat has taken away from multiplayer? I personally, I can't play games without party chat. I try to not do party chat when we're recording for the site, which I haven't done recently, specifically because for whatever reason Twitch does not record party chat. It only records in-game party chat, if that makes sense. And so not PS4 party chat, but in-game party chat. It will record those, but it will not record PS4
so
party chat.
If you're using the PlayStation 4 party, it won't record that. But if you're using any in-game chat capability, and most of them seem to be going away from including it in-game because Sony has included it.
Right, in the party chat, yeah.
In the party.
I always point to, just as an example, Last of Us multiplayer. Mm-hmm. I find that to be impossible to successfully play with a group and not be able to speak, have teamwork, strategy. I think the best games do force you to communicate with your teammates. I don't think party chat is a bad thing at all. The best part is, if Matt and I are playing two different things and we just want to shoot the shit, I don't got to pick up my phone and call him. I can actually, I can just talk to him over party chat while he plays his thing and I play my thing.
Yeah. And we've done that on occasion. The only thing is I can't do it while I'm doing anything that's a heavily story-based game because it's just too distracting. But, I mean, we've almost always... Okay, honest to Betsy, I am not an online gamer. I've made this disclaimer a bajillion times, so my opinion is nothing but my opinion. But, I mean, even before when we were multiplaying on PS3, I mean, heck, when we play Rock Band on PS3, we'd have a Skype chat going. Yeah. So that we could talk in between songs, and whenever we were playing anything else, we would generally have a Skype chat going. So we've always had a concept of a party chat going. And yeah, sometimes we'd be talking about the game. Sometimes we'd be talking about something we saw on TV. Sometimes we'd be talking about this. We'd be talking about that. It all depended on what was going on. But
even when we do the podcast, when we're done, we just hang out and watch videos together.
And just talk and do stuff with spoilers that we can't do on the regular podcast. Right. And I guess I'm not sure what he's feeling is he or she is feeling is being taken away. I mean, I get, all right, if you got chatty bots, chatty bots could be very, very annoying. Ace Combat 3 was really good with the chatty bots, because basically all your partners are bots because there is no, it's just bots. But 3 and 4 were both pretty good. 4 was really good, except for some mission. You had one partner who would constantly be but he was constantly on the radio. So half the time it meant nothing. So you had to try to filter out the things that he said that were actually relevant to the mission and what you needed to do versus the stuff he was just rambling. But then it was Assault Horizon. That the bot chat and that was completely useless. It was just chatter and jabber and noise and distraction. But yeah, I guess for the way we at least would play a game like that, even Battlefield, where is kind of the prime example of a game where people just run around like screaming monkeys shooting stuff. We as a team would get together and we would take and hold an objective by communicating. We would okay, hey, you get on the north side of the building and run spot, and I'll run snipe, and Yuck and Muck go guard the door over there so we don't get shot in the back while we're doing this.
Yep.
And, if we needed to swap out or we needed to go get ammo or whatever, we could communicate and we could swap around and cover whatever it was we were doing. Would we end up necessarily ruling the map? No, but we would maintain our little objective of what we were doing.
Yep.
And so I guess I haven't seen it. Let's put it that way. Now, yeah, just open chat where you've got screaming 13-year-olds and this and that. And that's to me, that's different. But I guess, yeah, I can see where if you've got people who are on a chat that's just an open chat for like your team or whatever, and none of them are effectively communicating to get to a goal, I can see how that'd be distracting. And that's when you just mute everybody and you just do whatever you're going to do.
All right, we got 18 more emails.
All right, I'll shut up.
Just FYI. So
please shut up. Okay.
So thanks for your question. The next one comes from Igle Dante. What game has disappointed you the most in your life? For me, it was Fable 3. Fable 2 was far too easy, but still a very fun game. But in Fable 3, it was much more stripped down. The magic mechanic was simplified. He goes on and on. There's no map, no menu, expression system removed, gutted and replaced, and all this kind of stuff. But what about you guys? What game has let you down the most? I'll go first. Destiny. Thank you very much. See above every podcast for the last 6 months.
The most dissipating game you keep playing.
I won't disagree with that at all. It just makes me more and more angry every time I do log into it.
Right. Which isn't good for your blood pressure.
It's not.
You're getting old. You got to avoid this unnecessary stress.
Ah!
Gosh, most disappointing game ever. That is a tough one. Destiny's right up there. I'm trying to think. Okay, my limited brain power recollection, I'm sure there are ones that I'm more disappointed in, but the one that's coming to mind right now is Final Fantasy 13.
Oh God, yeah, that's a tough. That's Destiny. I was more disappointed in, but I was really disappointed in that game too.
Yeah, I want to go back and finish it, but I just cannot force myself to put the disc in the system. I can't do it.
Now you know what I feel like when I play Destiny.
Except you can get the disc in the system.
Yeah, but I'm swearing the whole time I do it.
Yeah, it physically causes me like mental anguish to think about putting that in and keep playing. I actually get more excited about thinking about restarting 12 because I lost my save file umpteen years ago when my system crashed.
There is a rumor of an HD 12 remake.
I know, and that would be freaking awesome.
And for the first time in a long time, I'm actually excited about a Final Fantasy game in 15.
Well, Type 0.
Oh, on Type 0, I hear it's great. It's RTS.
I've heard nothing about great.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that too. So it's an odd feeling to have.
It is, I know. And 15, it looks like there could be a game there. Does it look like a Final Fantasy game? I don't know. Some of it, a little bit, but it looks like it might actually be a good game, which at this point, I don't care. If they can put out a good game, it isn't quite Final Fantasy, well, okay, I'll live.
Yeah.
I'll live. So yeah, right now Final Fantasy 13 is the one that I think of. I can't even. I would rather go back and play Prototype, which was a pretty big freaking disappointment, than play Final Fantasy 13. Which you see, Prototype 2 is one of our free games.
Gyro asks, "What completely ruins a game for you?" There's not a lot of clarification there.
Any number of things can ruin a game.
People talking ruins a game for me. Especially if I'm trying to pay attention. That definitely ruins a game for me.
Oh, yeah, you're looking at external influences.
I know. There's no definition. It could be external, internal. I don't. I personally also don't like. I don't like shoehorned activities. Things that are put into the game to pad out its length. At first I was very upset by the 6 to 8 hour campaigns and things, having grown up with Final Fantasy VII, which took me 182 hours to finish and put down. Things like that. So when they started moving to the 6 to 8 hour campaigns, I felt gypped, if that was a good way to say it. And now, because of, I guess, where I am in my life and the time allocation I have for playing games, 6 to 8 hours works really well for me. And it doesn't, I have no problems with that whatsoever. So now when I see games put in extra things just to pad out the clock game time length, then I get upset with that. That's really probably both the external and internal answer I could give for those.
I have taken to playing all games with subtitles because of the house I live in, as just an environmental hazard that I have come to live with. The thing that'll ruin game playing for me is when somebody turns a light on and it's reflecting on my screen, because the screen I have right now, even though it's an LCD, is semi-gloss, so I'll still get like light reflection and like a prisming effect on the screen if somebody turns one of the wrong lights on while I'm playing. So yeah, I get yippy at the kids if somebody turns on the wrong light while I'm playing. Bad decisions. I mean, that sounds really generic, but it's the best way I can think of to explain it, because like you said, padding a game with useless activities, that's a bad decision.
Destiny.
I don't know, just like giving somebody a set of established powers or abilities and then not letting you use them except in the correct story context to progress something.
Case in point, Matt gets really mad when you give him Spider-Man's wall crawling ability, but he can't use it everywhere.
Exactly. I'm freaking Spider-Man. Why can't I climb up this obviously brick wall right here? I also get really pissed off at cheap versus combat.
I knew that was coming up sooner.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I got mad at you, but I wasn't mad at you. I was mad at the game for allowing you to do that. Yeah, just I guess that's the thing. Any little thing, any little thing can really get to the point where it ruins your gaming experience, down to the point where you just have some really annoying sound thing. And if it happens frequently enough, like we were talking about, if you got bots that are constantly talking and saying stupid stuff like, there's enemies over there, there's enemies over there, I see the freaking enemies, mini map, shut up.
Or going back to Destiny, we've awoken the hive for the 19th time.
I think I set off an alarm. I'm gonna set off 5 or 6 more, so just just bunker down. But yeah, I guess the mechanic that gets me the most is when it goes back to like your comment about Spider-Man. I'm Nathan Drake. I am part monkey. I can climb on anything except this wall here. Yeah, stuff like that it doesn't necessarily ruin the experience unless it happens a lot, like it did with Spider-Man, where there was just you get to an edge of a world and you don't want somebody crawling up the edge of the world. Okay, I get that. If there's some boundary that it goes off of, but a random side of a random bridge in the middle of the city that I can't double jump high enough to get up, I can't super jump high enough to get up, and I can't wall crawl up. WTF?
Jack MP 200.
What?
Jack MP 200. He asked, "What
Shut
is
up,
no? Yeah, I want to make sure we actually get through all these in the remaining time we got. What is your most tedious, hated level or mission in video games?" I'm going to answer for Matt because I know his answer already. Bats over pits.
It's a close between that and the lightning field.
What do you mean by lightning field?
Final Fantasy X for
right.
Was it Yuna's ultimate weapon? But yeah, bats and doves over pits. Oh my god!
What's the most annoying level? No, the most annoying level for me, I'll tell you flat out. I was reminded of it playing Assassin's Creed Unity.
When somebody's face disappeared?
No. It is mandatory stealth missions where if you get seen, it makes you start the entire level again, as opposed to just letting you deal with the consequences and try and either stealth or shoot your way out. That is poor, lazy game design, and those designers should be brought out into the streets, tarred, feathered, and shot. That's how
what was it? What was it that I similar, but yet I understand in this context. So, I know when we announced that on the previous podcast that GOG was going to get X-Wing and TIE Fighter, which sadly does not include the DVD or CDs, whatever they were, version, must have been CDs, the collector's, even though it's called TIE Fighter and X-Wing Collector's Edition, it's not the 1994, 1995 CD versions that had the all the expansions included and everything. It's the original version and then like a 1998 re-release, which doesn't have any of the expansion packs or anything like that in it. So that was a little disappointing, but I bought the TIE Fighter, I bought the X-Wing one because I was able to acquire a functional USB joystick. And, yeah. Oh, that thing you were supposed to destroy got away? Here, start the freaking mission over. It's like, oh, son of, there's not even like a checkpoint you can go back to or anything. You start from the very beginning of the mission and do all the stuff all over again.
Tim Shannon writes in and says, "What is your favorite one-liner from any game?"
Flock off, Featherface.
And what game is that from?
That is from the original Devil May Cry.
There you go. My favorite is Fe Victus, which translates to suffering to the conquered, from Blood of Cain, or Legacy of Cain, Blood Omen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
I've used that for like many, many years.
Wow.
So, Fe Victus, suffering to the conquered. Good stuff.
Still doesn't beat Flock off, Featherface. That is one of the most genius censor bypasses ever.
Shakodar asks, if you could reboot one game, what would it be? My obvious go-to, which I've been saying this for years now, Bushido Blade.
Well, it did get rebooted. Nidhogg.
Yeah, no, Nidhogg is fun, but it's not quite the same. But yeah, if you've not played Nidhogg, you should play Nidhogg. It's kind of fun.
We played that too. I totally forgot about that
as well. But yeah, I think they should reboot Bushido Blade, take it back to its original original format, I think it would be fantastic. I mean, it would be gory and awesome and high detailed and rich. I think it would be fantastic.
If they could actually do it in the honor or in the style of the original Bushido Blade. I never even played 2. Was 2 any good? I never
was
played
not
it.
bad, but 3 was right off the rails. I mean, you were
Well, yeah, that
you
was
were at construction sites, if I remember right, and stuff. It is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what I answered the last time we got asked this question, and I'm trying to decide if I want to change my answer or not. Are you going to force me to stick to only one?
Yeah, 1.
Is it it just says game, it doesn't stipulate what?
Game.
Well, one of my answers is already getting rebooted, and we're getting that game this year, and that's King's Quest. So I'm not going to answer that one because it's already getting rebooted. Last time we had this question, I answered Prototype because I think there's a good game there. They just fucked up on execution. Now that I've played X-Wing, I would really like that series to get rebooted. And with the revival of Star Wars, it seems like a prime time for that series. And not Rogue Squadron. I'm sorry, I hated the Rogue Squadron series. Hated the Rogue Squadron series. But X-Wing or TIE Fighter or something in that thread would be awesome. I think that's what I'm going to go with, just with the hype of Star Wars and having sat down and played that. I still would like to see a reboot of Prototype, but they could. If I don't see it, my life will not be that much different. If I got a reboot of X-Wing and TIE Fighter, X-Wing and or TIE Fighter and or something like that, my life would be awesome. Good. And if you can't do that one, then Wing Commander. I'll take either one.
The Ion Shake asks, what's the worst game you actually own? For me, it's Devil May Cry 4. I was very upset with this because it seemed like half of an alright game, but then the rest of it was a tech demo environment, and in order to get the cool stuff, you had to go back and play the game again like I wasn't sick of it already. What's yours that you regret? What's yours? Do you regret buying it? Do you still have it? If not, how did you dispose of it? That's a tough one for me.
Oh, yours wasn't Devil May Cry 4. That was the question.
No, that was the.
Okay. Wow.
Probably the worst game I own is Battlefield 4. I mean that one would have been like on my most disappointing. We logged quite a few hours in Battlefield 4. And
we did.
It's not like we didn't have fun with it, but it was so horribly broken. And
from the get-go.
It came out in 2013, so it can't be on this year's disappointing games list. But man, that game, yeah.
I mean, the only game more broken than that is Drive Club.
Well, and that's working now. I mean, and in a shorter time than Battlefield took to.
Oh yeah.
I have to say probably it's a toss-up between that and maybe L.A. Noire, because I love that game. It's not a good game, but I love that game. So call it a guilty pleasure, if you will, I guess. But that'd probably be the worst game that I actually own that I can think of.
I need my PS1 folder. I have a 148 DCD wallet of PS1 games.
I'm talking about this.
Oh, you're talking about like recent times. Okay. I'm thinking way too hard here then.
Yeah, no, I'm not going back to my PS1 collection.
Well, PS4 I really can't. I mean, honestly, I haven't bought that many games for PS4, so I don't really have like a disappointing of PS4. But let's go back to PS3 here. What is disappointing? What was the terminology used?
Oh, it was the most disappointing game. For you, probably be Final Fantasy 13 then.
Well, no, because even that is better than I was very excited. I thought the developer on this one was going to have a good. I didn't expect it to be a great game, but I thought it would be a good game, and really, it ended up not being. And that's Spider-Man: Shattered Dimensions.
Yeah, that was a disappointing game. All right.
Yeah, I mean, there was some good script stuff in there, and Neil Patrick Harris as Spider-Man was good. And it does have one of my favorite lines in games, too, because you in the Ultimate Universe, you're fighting Electro, and Electro gets supercharged by a hydroelectric dam or something, and he goes giant, and he's like, I am a god! And Spider-Man goes, without pants! Which is just brilliantly executed. So that's probably the best part of that game. That's like the only part of the game that's really worth it. But yeah, I think that's probably the biggest disappointment game that I currently own from the last couple generations. Otherwise, the original Tomb Raider is right up there too.
Ain't Red wrote in to ask, what was the first game that made you stay up till the crack of dawn?
Legend of Zelda. Or Metroid. I don't remember which one I got first. If I got Metroid or Legend of Zelda first, but one of those two.
See, I'm really having a hard time narrowing down time frames. It would have either been, I want to say it would have either been Final Fantasy VII or Diablo. I can't remember which one came out first.
Diablo did.
Because I'm fairly sure, because I remember in both cases I was in college, but I would drive into a computer gaming center to play Diablo, and I just remember there were a couple nights where I knew the people that ran the place, and we would just stay there all night.
Okay, Diablo came out on the 31st of December of 1996, so 18 years ago.
And then when did Final Fantasy VII come out? Because I know there were a couple times where I caught myself
January 31st of 97, so like a month apart.
So then I guess Diablo 1 would have been it for me. Because, man, we'd have I think we'd have 6 people, 4 to 6 people playing Diablo in this game center, and they'd just stop charging us. He'd be like, all right, you're going to stay for another couple hours? All right, just pay $20 and you can stay all night. And, until I go home. And then he would never go home until 9 in the morning. So I think that was my first all-nighter. I can't remember as a kid with the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo system.
Okay. Well, okay, yeah. I mean, if we're talking literally crack of dawn.
Yeah, the first one. I can't think of one before that because I did not do that stuff before college for games.
Yeah, I'm not sure I ever did that either because I know I stayed up late playing those games that I mentioned and then some other ones subsequently. First time I literally stayed up way later than I should have.
No, till dawn. Till dawn.
Well, that's what I'm trying to remember if I ever actually have stayed up all night playing till dawn. But if I know I stayed up playing till at least 5 a.m. and we'll call it dawn. I don't know if there was a dawn at 5 a.m. that time or not. The first game I know I did that with was Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. I know I stayed up very late, but I don't think I ever. Wait, was Chrono Trigger before Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, Chrono Trigger was SNES.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Those years are kind of a blur to me. They're all kind of meld together. So,
we get old and our synapses don't work anymore.
Pretty much. Good question. Thanks for writing in. Sketch Amp wrote in and said,
March 11, 95, if anyone was curious for
right.
Chrono Trigger.
Guys, what game sequel still needs to happen? For me, it's kind of obvious, but speaking of, I want another game in the Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross universe. What game sequel still needs to happen that isn't already on the list of things to be developed?
I really like your answer. Um, I really like Chrono Trigger answer. That's a really good one.
It is a really good one.
Because Chrono Cross really, yeah.
God, I have to say Rock Band.
That's not bad either.
So that game is fun in a way that is very hard to replicate. And I think some of my most unique and fun gaming moments has come from that game. I really like things like Chrono Trigger, but I think especially as I've gotten older, for me, playing multiplayer with friends is much more valuable than playing single player.
For me, something like a Chrono Trigger is really just simply a time thing. It literally, I mean, it's not whether I'm going to enjoy it or not enjoy it, or alone or with people or whatever. It's literally just a time thing. Got a keyboard there?
Yeah. Hitting the wrong buttons.
I don't know. I really don't know. I would like to see a sequel to. I don't know. Here's my problem. I'm to a point in my age where I like the ends of things. I like things to have an ending point. I like it when they come to a logical conclusion and end. I'm having a hard time watching this last season of Bones because the show has drawn out longer than it logistically can support itself. So I guess it's a maturity thing or whatever. I don't know, but okay, you know what? I'm going to go with a really weird one here, but Dark Forces. Not before it went with the whole Jedi path thing, but actual, no kidding, the original Dark Forces, where you're secret agent guy running around the Star Wars universe, infiltrating everything and doing this stuff. Whether you're a Jedi or not a Jedi, really to me doesn't matter. To me, Kyle Katarn was a great character before they revealed him as a Jedi. So I'm going to go with Dark Forces.
I know we're trying to limit this only to one, but I will say that ActRaiser is another one that's never had a sequel that should.
Not familiar with that game.
Super Nintendo game. You play God, basically. Not joking. You play God in your floating city above the planet, and you lay out cities and whatever. And when you want to go develop an area, you send your avatar down to do 2D platforming to clear out the place. And then once it's cleared out, it becomes an RTS to where you're building it, etc., and fending off bad guys and all this stuff. And then you move to the next spot, and it gives you more resources and stuff. It was really a unique concept, and it was in Super Nintendo games, Super Nintendo days, which made it even more of a novel concept. So that's what I would say off the top of my head. That would be a good one also.
Star Tropics, too. Wow, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Grafnar writes in and says, what is your most difficult gaming achievement? Matt, open psnprofiles.com. Oh, never mind. I'll do it for you. NeoSapian.
I have PSN profiles open already.
Oh, okay. Good. So you can tell me what your most rare one is.
My
rarest trophy is the Pitmaster trophy from Mortal Kombat. At 3 point, I think. Well, let me double check that. I want to make sure that's right. Yes, there are only 1,770 achievers in the world. I was number 1,126 on May 12th or May 6th of 2012. It is discover and fight hidden combatant 3 in the arcade ladder, which is of course Reptile in the original Mortal Kombat.
Wow. All right. Now I have to qualify this answer. If anyone goes and looks at my profile on psnprofile.com.
Wait. Before you do that, let's do our top 3, because there's 3. Okay. So Champion of Earth, which is achieve level 30 as a hero mentored by Superman in DC Universe Online for the PS3. That is a gold.
at 5.15%. Only 10,000 people have it. And then again in Mortal Kombat 10 or Mortal Kombat 9 actually. In my last one is there can be only one. Win 10 King of the Hill matches in a row. There are only 16,000 achievers in that, and that is my top 3. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
No problem. All right. So again, still caveat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 of my top 8 are on my profile. However, they are not mine. Due to the draconian and stupid rules of DRM on SingStar, these are actually my daughter's trophies on my profile. If she could do it on her profile, she would do it on her profile, but all of the DLC, all of the stuff with the downloadables and everything is tied to my account because I was stupid and didn't know that when I bought all this stuff. So all the SingStar trophies there, I've played with her, so I've sung with her, and I've sung some of these songs. So, I mean, I guess I contributed to them. But I'm going to skip the SingStar ones because they're not really mine. So that would make my most rare You Snooze, You Lose from Munch's Odyssey, Oddworld, Kill a Big Bro Slig in His Sleep. That is currently ultra rare, 1,213 achievers, 4.39%. That is a silver. Skipping through the SingStars, my next one is Pro Keys Apprentice from Rock Band 3. 5-star on easy Pro Keys or 3-star on higher difficulty. 25 Rock Band 3 songs. Number 561 on that. 1,794 achievers, 5.77%, very rare. The other one was considered an ultra rare. And the next several are all from Munch's Odyssey. So I must have been the only person in the universe to play this game. But I've got very rare, Vicar Evisceration, Kill 35 Vicars, Great Escape, Leave Vickers Labs, Labor Egg Storage, and Watching the Tide, Flood and Flee the Loading Docks. And those are story missions. So literally those are you'd get those just by playing the story. So literally I'm the only person, well, I'm not the only person, but not very many people in the universe that have that game have played it far enough to get those trophies.
My 5th and 6th one are probably in essence really the rarest ones I have. I mean, I know the ones above it are rarer per se, but I think this one is probably extremely rare. Popular author, quizzes you have written have been played by more than 100 different people in Buzz Quiz World.
Wow, yeah.
And then quality quiz writer, a quiz you have written has been played by 25 different people and has over 2.5 stars in feedback.
Wow.
Those
nice.
are both very, very rare ones. And then there's DC Universe Online stuff and more Mortal Kombat stuff and Rock Band 3 Pro Guitar to the max and Killzone Shadowfall and DC Universe Online and Drum Trainer in Rock Band 3, and then, believe it or not, the one that you and I both have, Disney Infinity. It's a party.
I was just going to pick that one up. Play a 4-player game.
God, I haven't done that in Marvel 2.0. I bet it's higher, though. And then I'm back to more Mortal Kombat and DC Online. And yeah.
So many of these are Munch's Odyssey and SingStar. I've got a couple of Strider trophies in there. The Disney Infinity one. Trine 2, which I've barely played any of Trine 2, so the fact that that's in the top, 100 is even weird. Maximize all upgrades on SteamWorld Dig. Open 1,000 vents under Surge Deluxe, which is on the Vita. And then my last one on the first page, again, isn't mine. Iron Frog, your quest is complete. You have completed adventure mode for Zuma, which my wife played. So what? As long as we're on this, why don't we read off our stats, like the summary stats? Like I have 286 games played, 27 completed, 27.69 completion rate, 6,800 trophies unearned. How in the hell can there be 6,000? It's at the top of the list. 6,800 trophies unearned. How can I have 6,800 trophies? I have no idea.
I have 257 games played, 5 completed games,
I kicked your ass.
24.52% completion,
Kicked your ass there too.
8,216 trophies,
Holy shit.
1.909 trophies per day.
Okay, we're close on that one. I'm 0.97, so I'm just a little bit less than you.
Yeah.
And then I have 144 profile views apparently.
I have 171. So
Well, yeah, everyone loves you, so.
csnprofiles.com/ball if you want to know. Thanks for writing in. That's an excellent question. Nate Berkopek asked, what is the most epic video game weapon or item you can think of? For me, it's the Rhino 5. I mean, it plays the goddamn 1812 Overture when you shoot it.
You know, the first weapon that came into my mind was any of the rhinos from the Ratchet and Clank series.
I mean, the first one that comes to my mind is the dubstep gun from Saints Row 4, which we have an hour-long video of on our website. That, for me, that's all I have to say. Hey, by the way, do you know what Ewok dubstep sounds like?
Yub nub.
Yep, you got it. Yay. Yep. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, there's few gay weapons. I mean, you've obviously got the BFG 9000. That's a classic. The rhinos are just ridiculous. I mean, they're just so over the top. I mean, all the Ratchet and Clank weapons are over the top, but the rhino is in a class all its own. Yeah, I mean, I'm hard pressed to think of another one that's quite that crazy. But yeah. But the dubstep gun, I get that. I mean, I've watched it. I haven't played it, but I get it. Okay.
Domenis writes in and asks, what's the most useful thing you have learned from a video game? The discussion came up in an interactive media class for me, and I said resource management, which meant I was eating Radrock meat when I had 80 plus stim packs, which is obviously from Fallout.
Life isn't fair.
Faye Victus, Suffering to the Conquered.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the thing that I've learned from games the most is given the right. I don't want to clinicize. I don't know what the word would be. I don't want to make it sound too clinical, but Journey made me feel things a game had never made me feel. And I don't know if it's just because I'm getting old and sentimental, or if the game was just that goddamn good. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but when I think about, what has a game taught me? I mean, I get resource management. That's not bad. I mean, that's a good answer. I mean, if it's something you hadn't figured out previously in your life, or it's something that helped you get better at that skill, that makes sense. I can follow that.
Don't stand in the fire.
Flip over the crab for epic damage. Ridge Racer!
For an extra 99 lives, left, right, up, down, BA start. Yeah,
Memory retention. I guess that could be a thing. I have a horrible memory. I really do. I have a horrible memory. I mean, the recall stuff is just horrible for me. But I mean, the practice of memorizing maps could be argued that that's helped me get better over the years. I don't have any clinical data that says so. I have no data, but I feel like I remember stuff better now than I used to. So again, I could just be getting old and senile and forgetting more stuff so that I don't realize I don't remember it.
Oh man, Lister of Meg's got a very interesting one. They ask, you can only play 3 games for the rest of your life. What do you choose? This is similar to the stranded on a desert island hypothetical question. To get it rolling, I would go with Fallout 3, Burnout 3, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. I would probably say, and even though one of these isn't out yet, too bad, I would say The Division. I would say Guild Wars, because you didn't say I couldn't have an internet access. And my last one would probably be... DC Universe Online, because I could finally get the platinum.
I'm gonna succumb to playing by the implied rule of multiplayer is out of the question. I would go with Solitaire, because never gets old, and it's a new game every time. If I'm going to be stuck there I'm not always going to want to play something intense. I'm just going to want to waste time. To complement that, I think I don't know. I haven't played enough Dragon Age Inquisition, so I don't know if I would go with Dragon Age or Skyrim. Probably Skyrim, I think, because there's just so many different self-imposed loadouts you could do that you could make an infinite number of games out of that one game. And then I would probably go with Final Fantasy Tactics, because I'd finally be able to get good enough at that game that I could actually beat it.
Good choices. EMH Mark 1 asks, what older game would you happily complete again in 2015?
That's a loaded question for me. I only replay a game if it's a game I really want to platinum. And again, it just comes down to a time thing. Now, maybe when the kids are out of the house.
No.
Hypothetically.
Time is not an issue. You have a game. What older?
Chrono Trigger.
All right. Man.
Because I've only ever seen 2 of the bajillion endings.
Yeah, I've seen all 11. I'm going to say Heavy Rain, because I've only seen 1 of those endings, and there's multiple endings for that too. So I would say Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
Sexy Chicken Lips wrote in.
Always good thing to have is Sexy Chicken Lips.
Wrote in on the Geeking app to ask, my 11-year-old son has $150 to spend on a gaming system. What should he buy? Now, I'm gonna paraphrase the rest of this. My son has been begging for an Xbox or a PlayStation for over 2 years. They've saved about $150. I'll help on a bit more if they need more, but I really want this to be a good investment. They had an Xbox 360 when they went to GameStop for about $189. But then they tried to upsell me, and they said the original one would have the Ring of Death, Red Ring of Death. Then we asked about, PlayStation, etc., etc., etc. So, what should Sexy Chicken Lips' son buy?
Well, and do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. Now, I'm going to caveat this with, it depends. I mean, it depends on what level of aptitude the kid, what level of maturity they have, what level of game are you willing to let them play. Because if you're not willing to let them play tier higher games, a 360 is a waste of your time. And you know so there's a lot that it depends on. What do you want to do? I mean, there are great games for the Wii. You could get a Wii, probably spend a heck of a lot less than $150. I haven't looked at the used market recently. I have no idea. And buy a half dozen games that will take them. You know, you could buy Twilight Princess, you could buy Mario Kart, you could buy the Super Smash, whichever was it, Brawl. I think it was Brawl on that one. You could buy Pikmin. You could buy. I mean, there are so many games for the Wii that are good. I mean, it just got overshadowed by the 360 and the PS3 so bad. Well, not the Wii didn't, but it eventually did later in its lifespan because it became kind of a shovelware system toward the end of its lifespan. I don't know enough about the Wii U to really say whether or not and where the used market is on that. But I would say, and again, I know there's no hiding that I'm a Sony fan. That's the track I go. But if they're going to be, you know, on a bus or traveling or, you know, doing any kind of stuff like that, a PlayStation Vita or a DS, 3DS or DS, even a DS. I mean, there is a ton of games for DS. He has a DS. Okay, he has a DS. Okay, so you got the mobile stuff covered. Yeah. But again, and then it kind of comes down to what do you want them to play? I mean, there's a lot of more kid-friendly, air quoting, stuff on like the Wii. Part of my wife's and I's biggest challenge as we've gone into the PS3 and PS4 era is there are a lot less kid-friendly, family-friendly games on the PlayStation platforms and on the 360, the Microsoft platforms especially, aside from some shovelware Connect stuff. That's been a challenge. Now, my kids are getting older, so it's becoming less of a challenge. Now the challenge is on me, and what do I let them play? What don't I let them play? Kids of gamers have it worse because we actually know what's in the games and we know what's going on, and we're the worst parents to have for video games because yes, we got them all, or the best, but I mean we've got them all, and then we don't let you play 3/4 of them because you know this, that, or the other thing. But I mean, if you go the PlayStation route, you've got the Ratchet and Clanks, which are awesome games. You've got the PlayStation All Stars, which is a Brawl Smash Brothers clone. You've got a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously, if you get a Plus membership, again, you got to kind of watch what it is that's coming out. But there's been a lot of great stuff that's come out for that. I mean, Dust. Dust is a kind of violent game, but still, that's still kind of kid aimed with the cartoons, and the language is all fine.
Never Alone that just came out on the PlayStation is fantastic for family fare, by the way.
And you're right on that one. Oh, I was thinking Soul Survivor. I'm like, and you are totally trolling everyone on the internet right now. No, you're never alone. You're right. Okay, we got to move on because we're running out of time. I guess it depends. I would either go with a Wii or a PlayStation 3, depending on what you're looking to get out of the system and what you're looking to let your kid play.
I would go with the PS3, not because I'm a Sony fanboy, but from an economic standpoint. Online multiplayer is free with the PS3. With the Xbox, you got to pay for Xbox Live Gold. So you're looking at extra monthly costs there. So I would probably say go for the PS3. Very deep library of games, kid-friendly as well as not. But, lots of built-in features right out of the box. That'd be my recommendation.
Yeah, and you got the Blu-ray player right there, and you got all the streaming apps and all that stuff. So,
all right, quick fire questions. These are single sentence answer ones.
I hate you.
Yep. Vermilion Limit asks, "What game has made you feel the most evil?"
Shadow of the Colossus.
Ooh, good answer. I was actually going to go back to Legacy of Kain: Blood Omen. Because that is not a happy, fun game either.
No, that is not either.
Yeah. What is your favorite intro to a video game? Asked Howling Hound.
Wild Arms 1. I won't whistle into everybody's ears.
Final Fantasy 7.
Not bad. Not bad.
It's iconic in my mind anyway.
It is. I just love that animated intro to Wild Arms.
Brazilian Danny asks, does anyone else's girlfriend or parent bitch at you for spending hours gaming, but find it okay to spend the day watching TV? Just not even going to answer that one. I've lucked out. My wife has been gracious. She bought me. Well, she gathered the people. She bought me my first PlayStation. The PlayStation 1 that I got was co-opted by my then girlfriend, now wife. She got all of my relatives together, and they all chipped in and got me Resident Evil and a PlayStation. I won the lottery there. I mean, and we balance it out. We watch some of her shows. We watch some of my shows. I play games she wants to watch. I play games I want to play. I mean, I lucked out in that respect. Now, did my parents, go crazy on me about, you've been sitting on that machine all day, go out and play, or something like that? Yeah, I mean, okay, Mom, you're never going to watch this, but if you did, that's not what you sounded like. But yeah, I mean, I got that as a kid, but they didn't sit around watching TV all day either. So when we grew up on a farm, so. Yeah, I mean, just real quick, my thoughts on it are, maybe not when you're growing up, you don't get a choice in who you get to be with, but later you do. And, you have choices there, so that's all I can say.
Yeah, I don't think any relationship of mine would have worked out without an understanding of that being my hobby. And like my wife has always said, at least he's at home. He's not out at a golf course all day and never seeing him or anything.
Well, and, my mom for the longest time thought that I had a problem of some kind with video games, and then she realized I don't watch TV to speak of. And this is my version of reading a book. And she's gotten all right with it over the years.
And the problem is, I try to do all those. I try to read books and read comics.
I do that too. Yeah, I do that too. But yeah, this is not a quick fire question, but it is our last question.
Aw, is it last because I talk too much, or last because you've actually reached the end of the list?
End of the list, and we're about to reach time, so that's good too.
Okay.
Saminga81 asks, what is that gaming moment that hit you like a truck? What's the one gaming moment that smacked you in the face with a 40-pound sledge? The one that made you more emotional, scared, compassionate, or got you stuck in a moral dilemma that you will never forget? For me, it was Red Dead Redemption, and after binge playing for over 10 hours, I rode into Mexico for the first time. Nothing happens except for beautiful scenery and the most impactful song in gaming, I think, ever. Which that was a good moment. But Matt, for you, what was the moment that smacked you in the face with a 40-pound sledge? Oh, he's tearing up already. I can see it.
No. Well,
mine's easy. It's my go-to answer every time I get.
I don't think I've gotten that far in Red Dead Redemption. So.
Oh, it's not that far in. I mean, it's less than halfway through the game.
I'm not recalling that. Anyway, I'm not recalling that scene at the moment.
Mine is very simple. It's The Walking Dead, season 1. And since this is a spoiler-free, I'm about to spoil the end. If you've not finished Telltale's The Walking Dead, fast forward about a minute or so. When you have the choice to kill Lee or leave him to turn, I chose to kill Lee, and I lost it. I
couldn't do it. I could not have her kill Lee. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it
because I did not want him to turn into one of them, and I killed him, and I was a wreck. And I wandered upstairs, and I still had tears streaming down my face, and my fiance's look on her face was like, oh my god, what happened? And I'm like, I had to kill him. I had to kill him. And she's like, oh my god, are you alright? And then I had to explain that I just finished playing a video game. And if you ask her, that's the thing she always refers to, that she's never seen me like that, because that's the first game I think that I've ever experienced something like that, where I really felt an emotional attachment to the characters, and it was a serious moral dilemma for me. Do I take his life, or do I live on the slim chance of hope that he won't turn and not get to watch what happens? It was horrible.
See now, yeah, I totally played that different. Again, still incredibly impactful. I'm not discounting your experience in the slightest, because it was a very, I mean, I wasn't that torn up on it, but I mean, you're still left drained at the end of that game. And to me, I was still playing Lee, and my Lee would not make Clementine do that. There was still a limit to what my Lee would make Clementine do, and he wouldn't ask her to do that. But again, that was the beauty of that was the beauty, especially of that game, more so than even the other Telltale games, is you got to make that character your own so much. You got really attached to Lee, and you got really attached to the decisions you made as Lee.
Well, and Clementine too.
And Clementine too. I mean, and to a degree you get it in season 2 too, but it's not quite as much. Although episode 1 of season 2 is close. It is incredibly brutal. The rest of it goes down. But
by the way, I double dipped. Season 1
Did you?
and 2, season 1 and 2 on the winter sale that's still up right now. $6.27 each for both seasons, or for each season. $12 at $12.50 buys you the entire 2 seasons of Walking Dead on the PS4. I can't play it again though. That's the thing. I can't play it again. My fiance has still never seen them. I think I'm going to sit her down. We're going to do the story together, and that'll be another platinum for me ahead of you. And
well, I've got 11. You got a ways to go there, bud.
What level are you?
I'm the same as you. I'm within 5% of you at the moment. Actually, if you've been paying attention, I've been ahead of you for a while.
We'll see, because I'm going to platinum Far Cry 4 real quick.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I had been ahead of you for most of December.
So yeah,
if you're gonna play that card, anyway.
What's your most
I don't know.
Was it Journey?
What?
Was it Journey?
That's definitely up there. I have this impression that there's a game where I found out I was the bad guy or someone was the bad guy, and I can't think of what. I have this emotion, I have this feeling that I experienced this thing, but I can't place it. And it may
since we're spoiling, was it Heavy Rain?
No, it wasn't Heavy Rain. That one was there. Well, I don't think it was. It's not I remember Heavy Rain. It's like this game that I'm getting the feeling from. I can't put the context around it of what game it is. But yeah, I mean, I felt a good amount of betrayal at the end of Heavy Rain. But I think I damn near cried at the end of Journey, because you're going up this mountain and you think it's over. You think it's done. You're trying to get closer to your partner so that you can stay warm and jump on each other's scarves to keep you going, and the game just keeps fighting you and fighting you and fighting you, and you're on the verge of just getting so pissed off because why is this game doing this to you? And then it rolls over into the ending, and there's just this flood of relief and emotion that goes along with the fact that you did this. And then you get this huge ending, and then you get reborn right back to the beginning. You go, son of a bitch, this is a cycle, and you just keep doing it over and over and over again. But yeah, I think that is it. I mean, the Walking Dead, end of Walking Dead season 1's right up there. There's definitely an emotional tie to Heavy Rain. I feel like there's another game out there that I'm just totally missing.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Why? Wait, you have finished The Last of Us, right?
Oh God. Oh, dear gods, yes. Now, you and I are on different sides of this camp. Last of Us. dead on. You nailed it. That's right there. That's what I'm going on. Yeah, that's what I'm going on. It's not that you're the bad guy like you think it is, but
No, I
the way
think you're the bad guy.
You're not the bad guy. But
You're the bad guy.
no, totally. Yeah. I mean, wow. Yeah. How did I forget that? Holy cow. Yeah, that's where the emotion's going, but it's not that my character did it. It was the other way around. But yeah, no, that was one of the most beautiful, poignant, perfect points in gaming, and I will never play a game with an ending that good ever again. I do not believe that another game will ever have an ending that good. Whether you agree or disagree with the decision made at the end of the game, it is the perfect ending to that story.
I agree. And you're the bad guy.
You're not the bad guy.
You're the bad guy.
Well, everybody's a bad guy in that world, but
True that, but yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of not just this podcast, but a year's worth of podcast. If I had any wine left, I would salute you, sir. Salute. Yeah. 2015 is right around the corner. We've got all kinds of stuff coming up, so watch the site. Check us out at gamersledge.com. You can find us here on YouTube at at youtube.com/Balth on PSN because they won't let us change it. Like our videos, subscribe to this channel. I said visit the website gamersledge.com. Visit us on twitch.com/Balth99. No, I'm sorry, that one is Gamersledge now.
Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, Twitter, twitter.com/Gamersledge, facebook.com/Gamersledge. Twitch is, twitch.tv/Balth99 because they won't let us change that one either. And, yes. What was your favorite moment of 2014? Tell us in the comments below. What did you like about our podcast this year? What did you dislike besides us eating? Which we won't do. 2015 year resolution, there will be no eating on the podcast.
Turo will break at some point.
No, we'll break Turo. It's okay. But yeah, beyond that, let us know what you did like, dislike. Closing and final thoughts for 2014 as we are just 30
You're half an hour away.
Yeah.
I'm an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, Happy New Year's. Have a great. Hopefully, you've got tomorrow off work or off school or off of whatever it is you have, and get some time to spend with family or doing whatever you enjoy doing. I picked up comics today because I haven't been to work, and the city where I get my comics from is where I work. And I didn't realize this was coming out the end of this year, but there is a comic loosely based off the concept of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. called S.H.I.E.L.D. And it takes place in the comics universe, though. But it is with Coulson as the lead of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Special Operations Division. So that was a nice little treat to get at the end of the year here. And yeah, I'm looking forward to. You know what? If I don't play any other game other than No Man's Sky next year, I really am okay with that.
Yeah, and that's really where my closing final thoughts are, is next year we have such a stocked calendar of games. I think it's going to be a really interesting year for both the AAA blockbusters that come out, but also the indie games like Shovel Knight, coming to the PS4, Gone Home coming to the PS4. Everyone's going to the Rapture. The Forest. The Forest, yeah, all kinds of stuff coming out this next year. It's going to be a great year for gaming. But make sure you do, keep up the conversation. Let us know what you think. If you want to write in, it's balth@gamersledge.com for the mailbag. Feel free to give us a holler. And until next year, game on.
Game on.